Hi, my name is Sergio Mesa, and welcome to Easy ENG for You, Easy English for You. Are you about to take the TOEFL exam or the IELTS? Then stay tuned because today we're learning how to write an opinion essay. Okay. The first thing that you need to know if you are about to write an opinion essay is that my best advice is that you write 300 words at least. Okay? All right. Let's take a look at the different topics that you may find either on the TOEFL or on the IELTS. Most of the times, both exams require students or candidates to agree or disagree on a specific topic. Okay? Sometimes they ask you the question, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Sometimes they either ask students to support or oppose an idea. And sometimes they ask students, which do you prefer? They present two different things and they ask the candidates, which one do you prefer? Okay? And other times, they ask you the question, what is your viewpoint of this? Okay? I know that I don't have all the topics, but these are like the most common ones that you may find on the exam. Okay? All right. So the starting point to me and my advice is organize your ideas. Ding! Very simple. I see students not organizing their ideas when they are going to write an essay. What's the problem with this? Well, you start writing and ideas come and go and you don't know what to write about. But when you organize your ideas and you organize your text, you go straight to the point because you know what you're going to talk about. That's a huge difference between not organizing and organizing your ideas. Okay? When you organize your ideas, you're going to try to state your opinion. Remember, we are writing an opinion essay, so you have to state your opinion right away in the introduction paragraph. Okay? Things that you shouldn't do when you're writing your introduction paragraph. Number one, most common mistake is that students go back to the writing prompt when they're writing the introduction paragraph. That's something you don't do. Stay away from it, okay? Don't look at the prompt. Try to come up with an opinion of your own, but related to the topic or to the task you're about to write. But don't use the prompt nor paraphrase the prompt to start writing your opinion. Something you shouldn't do, okay? Number two, do not give any specific information in the introduction paragraph. And the reason I recommend my students not to give any specific or additional information is because we are at the level of the introduction paragraph and you shouldn't do it, okay? That's why we have a body of the text, okay? So remember, do not use the prompt, number one, and number two, don't give any specific information when you're writing the introduction paragraph. The introduction paragraph should be useful for one thing, to state your opinion. Okay? All right. When your opinion is ready and your introduction paragraph is also ready, then you have to think about, the body of the text. All right? When you are going to write the body of the text, there are two things that you need to know. That the body of the text will be divided in two paragraphs, okay? And remember, again, we are writing an opinion essay. When you write an opinion essay, you need to understand that you need to have reasons. A reason number one, a reason number two, and most topics require students to offer examples. Okay, so the idea is to have a reason, but an example as well. A combination of both. You need to have both when you're writing the body of the text. So let's say, for example, Do you agree or disagree with the fact that some students have to ask for loans when they are, let's say, going to study in college? Well, they're going to tell you, use specific reasons. It's in plural. If it's in plural, it means that you need to have at least two. You just don't write one reason. You have to write two reasons, okay? And if you have one reason on your paragraph, what happens is that you're not following the directions on the task. The task is asking the student to have reasons, specific reasons, and examples in the plural, both. That means that we have at least two reasons and at least one example for each of the reasons that we are writing on the text. What things do you need to have in mind? Very important. Number one, when you write, try to use complex sentences. What I mean about complex sentences is to write, for example, sentences in the conditional sentences. We can use relative clauses, adverbial clauses, those kinds of sentences. That they are going to attract the attention of the person who's going to be checking your paper. Okay? Use connectors in your paragraphs. Most of the time, students think that they can use any connector in any specific text. Wrong, you don't do that. Why? Because connectors have a function, okay? For example, if we're talking about adding something or additional information, that's the function it has. To contrast the idea, that's the function they have. Okay, so you need to understand the very principle of the function of the connector. Once you understand what the connector is useful for, then you're going to use the right connector. Okay, don't just use, for example, on the other hand, just because you saw it on a paper before. No, make sure you use it the exact right way. Okay, otherwise it's going to lower your score on the evaluation day. What else you need to understand? You need to check your spelling. Okay, as you write, try to look at what you're writing. Okay, some people make mistakes, very basic mistakes, because they just don't pay attention to how they are spelling the words they are using when they're writing their essay. This is something that you need to understand and something you need to do. Okay, vary your grammar structures. Some students get lower scores because they use, most of the times, very basic grammar structures. Let's say sometimes they may use the simple present, sometimes they use the past, but they do not combine two sentences into one. And remember, we are to use complex sentences as much as possible when you're writing the body of the text. And the last part will be writing your conclusion. Okay? Writing the conclusion, it's not rocket science. It's very simple. And the reason I say this, it's very simple, is because you don't have to say much. Okay? That's why you have the body of the text. That's when you have to expand your ideas. In the conclusion, you have to be very smart. First, you begin with a connector, such as in summarizing up, or finally, or in conclusion. Okay? That's to let the reader know that you are about to finish. Okay? One thing that I usually recommend my students is to state or restate the two reasons they gave before when they're just saying, okay, this is the last part of my essay. State the two reasons once again. Finally, I think students make loans to go to college because of reason number one and because of reason number two, period. That's it. You don't have to write more. Remember, you expand the ideas in the body of the text, not in the conclusion. The conclusion should be no more than 2 sentences, okay? Don't be a brainiac. What things you need to keep in mind when you're writing an opinion essay either for the TOEFL or the IELTS exam. Number one, write a 4-paragraph essay, okay? 1 paragraph for the introduction, 2 paragraphs of the body of the text, and the shortest paragraph will be your conclusion because you're just reiterating, okay, what you said before, but it's going to be a summary, okay, your conclusion. And remember, no more than 2 sentences. You can write at least 3, but you're going to start providing more information. And the idea is not to provide more information because you already provided the reader with the information you wanted to, okay? Number 2, take some time to organize your ideas. Organizing your ideas is going to let you fix a point where you're heading to, okay? You organize your ideas and you say, I'm going to write about this and this and that. That's what you're going to do. You're going to write about what you said you were going to, okay? Number 3, proofread. Proofread. When you proofread, I recommend the students to take at least the last 5 minutes, okay, to read again everything they did. Why? Because sometimes we make mistakes and you're going to check for spelling mistakes, all right? And number 2, because if you need to change grammar structures, this will be the perfect time to make sure that this sentence sounds better if I use a different structure, okay? And this is if possible changing, not if possible to proofread. Proofread is mandatory, okay? Most mistakes, the person who's going to check your paper find happen because we don't proofread, okay? And sometimes they are really silly mistakes that you could have avoided if you had read your paper before, okay? What things should you avoid? Avoid using slangs, okay? Avoid using contractions because written English is formal, and that's the reason we should avoid these 2 things. Make sure that you're going to use connectors when you write your opinion essay, and finally, try to use synonyms to avoid repetition, okay? Sometimes you have to change some nouns, replace them for other nouns because sometimes we tend to use the same noun twice or 3 times in the same paragraph. For example, we tend to say people at the beginning, people in the middle of the text, and people at the end, and you use the word people 3 times in just 1 paragraph. That's a huge mistake. So my recommendation is proofread. Proofread. That's when you're going to find those mistakes. Okay? Well, hopefully I know that this video is going to help you write an opinion essay for the TOEFL or the IELTS. If you want me to teach a different class, just drop me a line, email me, and for sure I will try to do so. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and remember, these are our social media. So what else can I say? Goodbye, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and activate the notifications if you want to know when we upload a new video. Okay? Until the next time, see you later. Bye, guys.